All Might is gonna die soon. And it ain't gonna be pretty. So we should be serious about this. Manga spoilers ahead. With Season 4 of My Hero Academia premiering soon, it's no secret that the series is going to get darker. I mean, did you see this trailer? But for those of us deep in the manga, it's gonna get a lot darker. One storm cloud looming over the series, however, is something that Season 4 fleshes out with the character Sir Night-Eye, and this is All Might's death. While Deku does bend fate and successfully avoids the pro-hero Night-Eye's prediction for himself, one can't help but think that the end is still near for the world's greatest hero in retirement, especially seeing the events of the most recent villain arc. So the purpose of this video is to take the events of the manga and what Sir Night-Eye said and theorize about when and how All Might will die, and really why this event is so crucial to Deku's development as a character and those Avatar State-like vestiges of One for All. First, a bit of background on the prophecy and expectations surrounding All Might's demise. In the Kaichisaki arc, Sir Night-Eye explains that All Might will die a gruesome death at the hands of a villain. Night-Eye previously told All Might he should retire as to not tarnish his legacy with this cruel fate. But of course, All Might refuses to stop smiling, and this causes Night-Eye and All Might to have a falling out, each believing in a different logic for hero society. Nevertheless, these two still respect one another, and Night-Eye even takes a liking to Deku. But looking at Night-Eye's prediction can actually give us some clues into All Might's ultimate fate. The most important thing is, the villain isn't specified, which tells me it's not going to be All for One who kills him. When making this prediction, Night-Eye knew of All for One, but not of his disciple Tomura Shigaraki. So to me, All Might will suffer this gruesome fate at the many horrible hands of the newly crowned Villain King. Before earning this title, inheriting the help of Dr. Ujiko and the Nomu, taming Gigantomachia, unlocking his quirk's true potential, and taking his rightful place as the successor of All for One, Shigaraki had previously tried to kill All Might with the help of Kurogiri. In the USJ arc, their plan was to snap a fully powered All Might in half with Kurogiri's Warp Gate. But now, seeing as All Might has no power, Shigaraki will have no problem killing him with his decay quirk. I mean, did you see what my mans did to that city? Now, all of this is pretty obvious, but All Might's death is more of a symbolic one. It's the last straw that will break the back of hero society and plunge the world into a fear of villains. It's also this symbolism that makes the most recent chapter of the manga look really suspicious. Boku no Hero Academia chapter 241 gives us a sort of reprieve from the very serious Meta Liberation Army arc and is pretty lighthearted. Shoto is adorable, Bakugo as always is way too extra, and we get some cool media training for our students with a revelation in the end that they'll be doing internships. But at the end, we see All Might pulling all-nighters and staying up late to write and compile notes for Deku on the One for All quirk. This is obviously one way for Deku to study the techniques of One for All, and even though All Might didn't have them, maybe even reference to unlock some of his abilities and new quirks stored within the predecessors of One for All. And that's really the key word here, predecessor. All Might writing notes can't be a coincidence. I feel like this is the first signal the series is giving us that All Might is going to die soon. We have Shigaraki getting more powerful, society's getting more and more unstable, and the Villain King will certainly seek to kill the symbol of peace and put the nail in the coffin on hero society. If anyone is familiar with the principle of Chekhov's gun, then you understand the placement of these notebooks on One for All perfectly. Every element of a story contributes to the grand plot. Basically, nothing is for nothing. If a pistol is on the table, it's probably getting fired. And if there are notes for the future, that future is probably coming soon. Horikoshi is also an author that usually makes every panel count. Everything leads to something else, and is always purposeful. I have no reason to believe this is any different. All Might has also had quite some time to be a teacher and tutor Deku on how to use One for All. Yet only now, after Deku has started to become more independent and make the quirk his own with moves like Shoot Style, has All Might felt compelled to compile knowledge to help Deku moving forward. All Might even said that there aren't many records on the predecessors of One for All, and he wants to record as much information that he can for Deku, presumably before he becomes one of these predecessors. Guys, it can't be more obvious. he's gonna die. What could be darker than the symbol of peace being crumbled? This would bring Deku to his knees in despair. But alas, this is a necessary test for our main character. Every shonen protagonist must either continue on without the tutelage of their master, or after they're gone. Also, with Class 1A doing internships with pro heroes, you know they're gonna encounter some conflict and probably some villains, leading me to believe that All Might will meet his fate this arc. But when one door closes, another one opens, and even though All Might will have a premature exodus, this doesn't mean we and Deku won't ever see him again. Deku has the vestiges and predecessors of One For All that make him like Aang in the Avatar state. And just like Aang constantly sought advice from the most recent of his past lives in Avatar Roku, Deku will communicate with All Might once he is gone. Adding Toshinori to these ranks opens up the possibility to Deku learning more of the quirks of the previous users and communicating with them as well. Sure, we already know about Black Whip, but to me, the quirks are only going to get cooler and stronger from here on out. Like I mentioned earlier, All Might may have some wisdom on the previous users in these notebooks that Deku can study, and by knowing them as people and personalities, this may help him master their quirks. While this is a bittersweet moment for us and a great push towards Deku's development as the Psycho no hero, we can't forget that this won't be a piece of cake, and we'll probably encounter Spirit All Might throughout multiple arcs. Also, remember what Night Eye said, All Might's death will be gruesome when Shigaraki kills him. What follows is my own theory about how Shigaraki will go about purging the symbol of peace and plunging Hero Society into chaos. Everything that Shigaraki and the League of Villains, the Liberation Army, and now the Paranormal Liberation Front has done has always been on display to the public. Shigaraki was frustrated when Stain was front and center in the public's eye, but he understood how this was important and how it can shift the views of society. With Skeptic's video editing technology and the resources from Detonarat Co., Shigaraki will find a way to kill All Might on a live broadcast so that the whole country, no, the whole world can see the symbol of peace crumble before him. Society will finally lose faith in heroes. Many will agree with no restrictions on quirk usage, and some might even join the winning team. Dare I say a civil war arc in My Hero Academia? Shigaraki does have an army. This televised aspect also relates to the latest chapter as the students were receiving media training from Mount Lady and Midnight. Pro heroes and Class 1A alike will have to reassure the public that even though All Might, the symbol of peace, is gone, it's going to be okay. 'Cause I am here. It's not going to be okay, is it? As always, thanks for watching. But what do you guys think? Comment below. How and when will All Might die? If he is truly the criminal to do this, how will Shigaraki pull it off? And are you gonna miss Toto when he's gone? 'Cause I sure will. Anyways, if you like My Hero Academia content and these theory videos, consider enrolling at UA today by subscribing. And until next time, plus ultra.